Welcome to Little John's Yarns. Today we'll be making this hooded cape on an Addi Express King. If you like this tutorial, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We'll hop right into the tutorial. We're going to begin by making a flat panel for the hood. We're going to cast on 35 hooks with waste yarn and knit for 145 rows or 26 inches with your main color and cast off with waste yarn. For the cape, we're going to knit 2 flat panels. It's a full cast on with waste yarn. For small, knit 225 rows. For large, knit 300 rows with main color. And don't forget to cast off with your waste yarn. We're going to be working with the short piece, which is going to be your hood. Fold your piece in half, so wrong side will be facing up. We are going to slip stitch your side together all the way up. We're going to be working into the loops. Can you see a loop here? Followed by a knot, followed by a loop. Understand the yarn is very difficult to see the stitches with, so I'll insert a picture here so you see exactly what I'm talking about. Here's a better view of what I was talking about. Notice the loops indicated by the pointy fingers. That's exactly what we'll be working into. Okay, let's attach our yarn. Go into the very first loop right here and the back loop. See if we can find it. The piece goes here, so right here. Attach your yarn, chain 1. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next loop. Here's your front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Move on to the next one. Front loop, back loop, slip stitch, front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Remember, we're skipping the knots and only working into the loops. Here's a knot, I know it's hard to see, and here's the loop. If you need to, refer back to the section of the video where I show you the loops, knots, loops, and knots. If that makes sense. Slip stitch. Alright, we're going to continue placing slip stitch all the way to the very top of the hat, and I'll meet you at the other side. We'll finish our last stitch together. Go through the front and the back and slip stitch. Now we're just going to fasten off our work. Flip your hat over and this is what it looks like. And here's your seam. Take your hood and fold it in half. We're going to be working the brim around the hat. I'll show you one more time. We're going to be working the brim of the hat. We're going to put in my favorite stitch, the front post, back post. If you watch any of my videos, I do this stitch all the time. I'm going to use a slightly contrasting yarn, black, and attach the yarn. We're going to be working into the loops again to put 1 double crochet in each loop. Notice the little fingers are pointing to all the little loops that we'll be working into. Notice loop, knot, loop, knot. Attach your yarn. Chain 2. 1, 2. Place 1 double crochet into the same space. Oops. And 1 double crochet into the next. We're going to work a double crochet into each stitch across. Well, each loop space. And once again, I'm weaving in my ends as I go. I'll do 1 more double crochet with you. Alright, put 1 double crochet in each one of the loops all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. chain 2, 1, 2, and turn your work. We're going to start our front post, back post all the way across. With our first stitch, we're going to do a front post, double crochet. With the second stitch, we're going to do a back post. We'll go behind the stitch up through the front and push the stitch back, and that is your back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, you go through the front, pull up a loop, double crochet. Back post double crochet, followed by another front post double crochet. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way across. We've made it back to the other side, and we're going to put the last post in here. Sometimes these are easy to miss. Front post, double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to repeat. It's a little bit easier to see the front post, back post on the next row because you can tell the way the stitches are poked out. First one is a back post, followed by a front post. You see how the stitch is a little raised towards you, so you know this one is a front post. Double crochet. Next one is a back post. You kind of see this one is pushed backwards. Complete your double crochet. Front post, and back post double crochet. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way across. We've made it back to the other side. All you have to do now is fasten off your work. Next, we're going to be working with our 2 long flat panels, and make sure your work is facing the wrong direction, wrong side up. We are going to slip stitch these 2 seams, 2 sides together. It's going to be the same just like we did with the hood. We have to locate the loops. We're going to be working into all the loops, not the knots, but the loops. There's a loop here, knot, loop, knot. I know it's hard to see, so I'm going to insert a picture here so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Let's work into the front loop and the back loop. Slip stitch, front loop, back loop, slip stitch. I don't know if you can see, but I'm weaving in my ends at the same time as I go. Front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Continue placing slip stitches all the way until you make it to the very end of your panels. So front post, not front post, going through the front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Continue placing slip stitches all the way until you make it to the other side, and I'll meet you when you get there. Next, I'm going to explain how to attach the hood to the cape. In order to do that, we're going to have to shrink our cape much smaller to match the stitches of our hat. I'll explain how. Okay, here is our hat. We know originally we cast on 35 stitches to make your hat. So 35 plus 35 stitches equals 70. And for the brim of your hat, we're going to place stitches, 3 stitches in the brim, 1, 2, 3, on each side. So 70 plus a total of 6 more stitches is 76 stitches. To reduce the neck of the cape down to 76 stitches, for a small, we're going to single crochet followed by a single crochet together all the way across. For a large, we're going to single crochet followed by a single crochet 3 together all the way across. Insert your hook, and we're going to chain 1. We're already in the first loop, so we are going to single crochet in the same loop. Next stitch, single crochet the 2 loops together. Single crochet together. Single crochet in the next. Single crochet together in the next stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern by single crocheting in the next stitch and single crocheting together the next stitch all the way across. So remember, single crochet followed by single crochet together. I'll meet you at the other end. We finished our row of single crochet 3 loops together. We made it all across. I already flipped my work because it's a pain in the half to turn it on camera. I didn't want the camera to tip over anything. So we made it across. Here's our row of single crochet together. I'm going to chain 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to double crochet into the same space. And we're going to double crochet in each stitch across. Pretty simple. Complete your double crochets in each stitch, and I will meet you all the way at the other end. I've made it back to the other side. I've already flipped my work so I can start working in this direction. Now we're going to attach the hat to the bottom of the cape. Find the bottom of your hat where the wasted yarn is attached. We're going to use every crochet stitch is going to be slip stitched together by every waste yarn loop. Make sure your work is, well, it should be wrong side facing up. Remember, the first part of your hat, we're going to imagine it being 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to slip stitch 3 together, front and back, slip stitch 1, 2, front stitch, back stitch, and 3. Now we're going to move on to slip stitching the front stitch into the back loop. Slip stitch, front stitch, back loop, slip stitch, front stitch, back loop, slip stitch. We're going to continue doing this all the way across. I'll meet you when you have your hat completely attached. Now your cape is complete. I added 4 rows of double crochet around the border of the cape to give it a little extra contrast. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more Addi patterns, please subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, I'll see you on the next tutorial.